The perfect macro ratio. Does such a thing exist? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And here's, for those of you that don't know what a macro ratio is, I'm going to tell you right now. In the olden days and the early days of macro dieting, people used to split up their calories based on a ratio. A common ratio for bodybuilders, for example, that made its way into the real world, the regular world, non-bodybuilding, was 40-40-20. 40% of your calories came from carbs, 40% of your calories came from protein, and 20% of your calories came from fat. So that's a very common ratio, and it's horseshit. It really is, because what happens if you're eating 2,000 calories and then your fat loss stalls and you drop 30 carbs? Are you supposed to drop everything equally to maintain that ratio? See, when people when coaches specifically set up clients' calories, they look at all the energy levels, they look at the age, the height, the weight, they should be at least. And then they're like, okay, this is what you need calorie-wise, and this will burn fat. They look at all of this data, and then they're like, all right, great, we know. Now let's just throw some arbitrary number at it and have you eat that many macros. Doesn't work. See, the reason why we don't use macro ratios at iifym.com is because a macro ratio only sets the macros up based on their relationship to one another. 40-40-20 or 35-45-20 or some other weird number. That doesn't do anything for the individual. And at iifym.com, we set up programs based on the individual. We look at who you are, what you're about, your age, your height, your weight, your gender, your activity level, your hormone, your history of dieting, your family history of disease. We look at a lot of different things. Then we come up with your calories, and then we split those up differently. So we don't use a 40-40-20 or a 55-5-40. Doesn't make any sense. So what we do is this: we make sure you get adequate protein by giving you between 0.8 and a whole gram per pound of lean body mass. We make sure that you get adequate fat, which could range anywhere between 0.25 to 0.4 multiplied by your total mass, or even your lean mass. We can be a little on the higher side, but we can use those numbers. If you get adequate protein, you're preserving muscle in a deficit. If you get adequate fat, you're preserving or you're promoting good hormones. You're supporting your hormone balance and hormone production. What's next? Carbs. Whatever's left after we subtract the fat calories and the protein calories from your total calories, whatever calories are left, divide by 4. Those are your carbs. That's how we do it. We give the body everything it needs. There is such a thing as essential amino acids. Amino acids we cannot produce on our own. We have to take them. We have to ingest them, right? There is such a thing as fats. There are essential fats that we have to eat, essential fatty acids that we cannot produce on our own. We have to ingest that. There's no such thing as essential carb, though. There's not. Our bodies can survive without carbs. So we prioritize the things that our body needs, and then we move on to the carbohydrates afterwards. The difference between two people that are the same exact height and weight and energy level and all that stuff, or for the most part, they'll probably have a very similar fat number. If they're the same, let's say twins maybe. But if one's going to the gym like 5 days a week and one's going to the gym 0 days a week, they're going to have both the same carbs or the same protein and the same fat, but the person that is in the gym more often is going to have higher carbs because they're exerting more energy, they get more calories. And they're still going to lose weight at the same rate, maybe even faster than the other twin, simply because they're working out more and they're feeding their body more and they're getting more carbs and their metabolism is ramped up, which is part of the reason why we give you guys so many carbs. But we don't set your carbs based on an arbitrary number. We make sure that you get the right amount of carbs, the right amount of fat, adequate protein for your body, your goals, your gender, your height, your weight, your energy level. You, not some random number. So there is no perfect macro ratio. There's only you and what your body needs. And that's how we work. And that's why IIFYM works. And that's why it's the most sustainable diet out there. Because it works.